Welcome everyone to another episode of Talk Anime. I am the Seventh Sword, and now it's time to talk some anime. So in this episode, I wanted to go over specifically Black Clover, and my love-hate relationship with this series, with this whatever. So it's an interesting premise. It's basically fairy tale combined with Naruto, where there's a wizard king instead of a Hokage, and instead of being like the strongest guild, just the wizard king. So yeah, and the whole concept about it is, man, my headset keeps turning off. Okay, so the whole premise behind it is that the main character, Asta, has no magical powers whatsoever. None. Zero. But because of this, he's able to get the power of null magic through this, what is it? It's a book. It's a 5-leaf clover book. It's the first episode. So he basically nullifies magic, and it's a cool concept because, you know, he trained long and hard, very muscular, very athletic individual. I mean, makes sense, you know, if you don't have any magic in this world full of magic where everyone has magic, might as well just work out. That's another thing, if you haven't watched it, the whole premise is that pretty much everybody in the show has magic. Even like your local peasant can at least like shoot water out of their hands and be like, I can grow farms. That's what they do. They just grow farms. So he doesn't have even the slightest amount of magic, which actually usually benefits him because he's undetectable and people always underestimate him. So he's just like, oh, you're not a threat, and then bam, pulls out his magic negating sword and cuts you in half. Now, my problem with this anime is I suppose in the very beginning, Asta would just like yell everything. I never read the manga, so I don't know. Maybe he does yell a lot. I get it, but I think the portrayal of that character, while maybe it is accurate, is very annoying, and it's a trait that you can get across without having to annoy or destroy people's ears. But he would just yell simple things like, just, I don't know. But he seems to have mellowed out now, which is good. But man, and the beginning is just rough, and it's rough for many reasons, because it's kind of slow, and when it does pick up, the animation isn't that great in the very beginning. But then, as you continue watching and you stick with it, there are some really good battles that take place that have really nice, stellar animation. Brings me back to like Naruto and stuff like that, some of the fights that happen later on. But then it dips down yet again. So this anime is a roller coaster. Like, it's like, oh, it's getting good. Finally, they got it. And then, oh, nope, never mind. Now they're back to square one. Just, some of the animation choices are just strange. I don't understand. But, so yeah, it's interesting. Like, there's definitely a lot of better anime out right now to watch. For example, like Goblin Slayer, Dororo, you know, those kind, like Dororo is awesome. There's one episode that has really weird animation, but I think it was just a direction change, and I think that's why. I don't think necessarily they didn't have a budget for it. I just think that the director in charge wanted that style. But I digress. Back to Black Clover. So I think the reason why Black Clover does that is it's because it's done in the same format as Naruto, and that means it's consistently always going, which is cool because you always have something to watch every week and come back to it. While other anime are taking breaks, Black Clover is out. So bam, it's got your attention. Watch it. But in terms of quality of work, you can tell because they have to keep releasing something on a consistent basis, which means that they had to produce it quickly, very quickly, and they have to keep producing it as quick as possible so that they don't miss the deadline, miss the schedule, so they always have an episode out for you to watch. And I honestly think that it hurts the story overall. It hurts the integrity of what the original author was trying to get across, and it doesn't do any favors to the series. It feels like they want to just produce it as fast as possible so they get as many views as possible so they make as much money as possible. And I get it, it's a business, of course, but you can tell when something has a lot of thought put into it. And there are definitely some sequences where, yes, there's a lot of thought, good direction, and things like that. But then there are just some battles where it just looks like somebody took some keyframes in like Adobe Premiere and just moved stuff across the screen. You know, just, oh man. And it just like literally like waves it. Like, it's just like that. I don't understand. I don't get it. Like, there's some sky battles where it's just like them floating and then like a beam, woo, and that's, oh man. I don't get it. I don't get it. The characters are decent. Some of the characters are actually pretty funny. Some of them are one note, but I think my favorite guy, there's my headset again. Okay. I think there's this one guy that, well, no, there is one guy. He just always speaks very quietly. No one can hear him, but he's subtitled, so we know what he's saying. But no one in the guild knows anything, or no one in the, it's not a guild, no one in the Royal Knights, the Black Bulls, the family of knights can actually understand him, so they always just write him off. Some pretty good comedy there. Asta and Yuno feel like Naruto and Sasuke, but as friends throughout the whole time. Basically, it's just Naruto and Sasuke, but Sasuke didn't leave and he stayed. So, but then they joined different teams, and now they compete against each other sometimes when they show up. And yeah, so that's what that is pretty much. Nothing really else much to say about Black Clover really at this point. I think I covered the basics of it. I would say check it out if you absolutely have nothing left on your list to watch. Otherwise, I really can't recommend Black Clover. I mean, as of right now, I would say if you're new to anime, you should definitely go to Fairy Tail and Naruto to start those before starting Black Clover. If you're an anime veteran, then you've probably already checked it out and know whether you like it or not. But in terms of like right now, I mean, it's something to check up on occasionally when you run out of something to watch. That's what I do. I look at it and I look up and see what's filler, and then I pass that. So it's kind of like Naruto in that regard, except whereas Naruto for me, since I started watching it kind of in the beginning of when I learned about anime, kind of more towards that beginning, it was more fascinating to me because it was a newer concept. So the characters, you know, meshed with me more and stuff like that. Whereas this one just feels like it's trying to copy a bunch of different anime that you liked as a kid. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on Black Clover. Well, thanks guys for checking out Talk Anime. Let me know if there's an anime you want me to talk about or watch. Recommend some stuff to me because I haven't seen them all. I've seen a lot. But I think next time I actually want to talk about Dororo because man, what a show. And I honestly don't think I want a second season because the way they ended it was pretty good. So we'll talk about that more next time though. So see you guys later.